So I've already undone the 3 grub screws to release this, rather than waste time on the video. It's just a case of undoing the Before you totally remove the wheel, make sure it's straight on the car. At this stage, what you can do is to take the original boss off and screw on the quick release mechanism. In some cases on earlier cars, the boss is riveted on and the rivets themselves come through. They're quite long and they're sort of bent over as well, and you can grind the back of those off to get that off, to separate the wheel from the boss. If it was me, if it's an original wheel, an original E-type wheel, which this one isn't, with the boss riveted on, I think, and especially if you've got an original centre like that, I think you're better off leaving that altogether and buy yourself a new wheel and look after the original one, because the original ones on the original boss with the original horn push are serious money now. Right, so the one thing you do is make sure these 2 collets, neither of these 2 collets have come adrift when you took the wheel off. So there's 2 tapered collets there. Make sure they're there. You can put a little bit of grease on. This has already been greased. A little bit of grease on there. And then all you do with your new wheel is you actually remove the lock, is there, and then put it on, lining it up as you would a standard wheel. Once that's on, you're happy with the position of it, you release simply by pulling that collar back. Put the nut back on. There are no alterations to the steering column needed at all. So that's just gone straight on like the original wheel. So if you're doing a concours event or something like that, whereas you want to take this off to put the original wheel on, this is how long it takes. It's minutes. Tighten that up to the recommended torque. Drop your horn control back in. Make sure that's home. And the wheel itself, we already know what position it was in because it was in square, but if you come at it from a different angle for whatever reason, who knows, when you park the car maybe the steering buckle's on, but it's simply pull this back, drop it on, and then it will find its own centre. There, job done, and that's on good and solid. And then what you can do from a safety point of view is, this is a lock, so it just drops in there. Turn the key. Now the wheel can't come off. So if your E-type is like this one, it's an open top, and you've left the wheel on, and somebody recognises the fact that it's quick release, they can't steal the wheel because you've got the key. And I recommend that when the wheel is on, the lock's in as well. I'm sure you'd never try and take it off while you're driving, but that stops any mishaps at all. Always recommend that the lock is fitted. And obviously when the wheel is off, take that lock out, take that off, and then if you're storing this in the boot, the safest place for that is back in the wheel. And the more times you do it, the more you'll get into the habit of fitting that, because now, even if you left the wheel in the car now, that will not go back on, because the release ring cannot come up, so you cannot put the wheel back on there. But I recommend that you put that in the boot. And there we go. So I'll just put it back on once again. Again, you can put it on anywhere and it will find, you'll soon know when it's on because of that. And then you put your lock in. And there you go. It can't go anywhere.